Why do families who love each other still argue, fight, or pull away? Why does conflict occur in families? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education. And in this video, we're talking about why does conflict occur in families? In this video, we're going to talk about why family conflict occurs. And then I'm going to share with you some communication skills that can stop that conflict at the root. We all have needs, but we don't always express our needs well to each other. In fact, sometimes when people have a need for attention, they whine instead. That's not a good way to express your need. It annoys people. In fact, they want to get away from you. You're going to get the opposite of attention from most people. They'll feel like you're draining to be around. So what do we do in families that keeps fostering family conflict? We go about trying to get our needs met in ways that are not healthy. We need to have healthy communication. We need to understand healthy strategies for how to get our needs met, and that will actually change our interactions completely. So when people are choosing to be angry, annoyed, when they are demanding, when they are insulting, when they attack other people with their words, when they say stuff like, "You don't understand," what they're really saying is, I have a need right now for you to understand me, and I don't feel like that you're trying. I don't feel like that you actually do understand. I'm getting frustrated right now about the fact that nobody understands me, and I need someone to understand me because I've got a problem that I'm trying to solve. Let's talk more about being understood. That's probably one of the biggest underlying needs that drives family conflict. Usually when a person does not feel understood, that actually creates this domino effect of decreased trust in the family bonds. So if you don't feel like somebody cares about you or understands you, or will even take the time or make the effort to try to understand you, then you start feeling like you can't really trust them to be there for you. You detach from them. You isolate yourself from them, which then isolates them too. This type of a controlling behavior that happens in the family can fracture family bonds and attachment, and then make it so that when we have a problem to solve, we're going to have sparks flying, things erupting, instead of people coming together to actually work on a problem and solving it together as a group, which would be the healthy thing to do as a family. Speaking of bonding, when people do not feel a bond from you, then that can actually also create more family conflict. So nurturing that bond, nurturing that relationship is vital to keeping the family connected and having good communication with each other. If they value you, if they feel like they totally understand you, they can talk to you, if they feel like you love them, you have concern for them, you care about them, all of those things, that person is going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're going to be more open-minded to your opinions. They're going to listen to what you have to say because they're going to know you're going to listen to what they have to say. You're going to be able to open the door with that connection and relationship that you have that leads to better communication. If your family is not feeling loving under the surface, then how are you going to fix those family bonds and those family problems that you're trying to solve? One of the best things that you can do to foster love for somebody is actually express gratitude or appreciation. So often people just tell themselves that nobody cares because they never hear the gratitude or the appreciation. And many people don't take the time to say, "I love you." I have to honestly admit that as a mother, I had to remind myself how good it felt to hear my mother tell me, "I love you, Nicholeenie." That's what she would call me. "Oh, Nicholeenie, I love you." And my grandmother would tell me, "I love you." My grandfather even would occasionally say that, not as often, but he did. And I told myself, I have to remember to tell that to my children, especially as they got older. I need to tell them how I really feel, how much I love them. Because those are the moments in cards and in words that I will never forget from my parents loving me and feeling grateful for me, even though I knew that I wasn't perfect. It gave me value. So could we just get back to love? So what if you feel out of love with the person? Let's focus on what to do there. For many years, I did therapeutic treatment care for troubled teens. This means that I brought youth ages 12 to 18 into our home who had very significant challenges. There were processing differences, lots of neurodiversities, and behavioral issues and attachment issues, sensory issues. There was anger management issues. There were a lot of things that were going on, and it was my job to help them get on a normal trajectory so that they could hopefully launch out of my home into successful living as an adult one day. So they had annoying behaviors. Really hard, annoying behaviors. I had one foster child who was a diagnosed kleptomaniac and compulsive liar with anger control issues. She was rough. And I had to body search her every day when she came home from school because her stealing was so bad. And we had to catch it every single time. I started recognizing that I was not looking forward to her coming home from school each day. I realized I didn't actually feel a lot of love or affection toward her. In fact, she was annoying to me. She ruined the flow of my life and my day. So I was taking a little bit more of a selfish view of helping her, but I think it's just because it was so draining. It was so hard, and I realized I needed to make a change. So I actually made a plan for myself. Now, I'm a praying person, so my plan involved prayer, but I'll give you another option of what you can do if you're not a praying person in a moment. But what my plan was is that I knew she was going to come home every day at 4 p.m. So at 3:45, I would go into my closet and I would pray until I felt God's love for her, until I felt a measure of that love within me so that I could love her the same way that God loves her. And I focused on doing that every single day, and it actually changed everything for me. It was the pattern of self-government that I needed at that moment. Now, what about if you're not a praying person? You also can make a gratitude list. Sit down, make a list of all of the little things that you are grateful for about that person. You're grateful for their smile, for their sense of humor. You're grateful for how they go the extra mile on the dishes, or you're grateful for how honest they are, even if sometimes it's rude. Whatever it is that you can find the good things that you are grateful for them for. And then every single day, as you're preparing to love them more, look at that list. Remind yourself of what good things they do, because most people are more good things than bad things, and we need to see those good things to help them through the difficult stuff. Improving your love, deliberately deciding how to increase your love and making a plan for that is at the root of solving the family conflict. And then you can take it to the next level and actually create a family vision, a picture of who you're becoming as a family, how you're nurturing and growing those relationships in a good direction. That conversation will help the family have a foundation, something to hold on to, so that when there is a moment they can go, wait a second, this doesn't feel right. We don't want that contention. I know how to describe that. That's contention. What are we going to do instead? So this brings me to, what are you going to do instead? Well, this entire channel is about teaching self-government, which means there's principles and there's skills of self-government. And it is a good idea to get some skills that you and your family can have, where you share them in common with each other that relate to your family, problem solving, and being able to understand each other. So there are 4 basic skills of self-government that actually take care of the majority of people's behavior problems. Those 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. What if you just could accept a no answer when somebody didn't give you the attention that you wanted or make the dinner for you that you wanted? What if you could just follow instructions when somebody needs your help to show how much you care about them? What if when you disagree with someone, you could disagree appropriately? And what if when you recognize you're the one at fault, that you could correct yourself and accept the consequences for your bad behavior? All of those things are things a self-governed person can do. When they learn the 4 basic skills, which each one of those skills has a skill set attached to it that teaches you those skills. If you can learn those skills as well as how to stay calm and correct your children with calmness, then your family can learn self-government, which can improve your family relationships and decrease any of that conflict that you might be experiencing. So right now on the Teaching Self-Government website, if you go to teachingselfgovernment.com and you go to the shop tab, you'll be able to find the TSG parenting course or the Parenting Mastery Training. The Parenting Mastery Training is a 3-day training. It's an intensive training where your family can learn all the skills and principles of self-government, and no matter what difficult things you're facing, I will help you navigate those through as we go through that training. Also, there's a TSG parenting course, which is an online course that you can go through at your own pace and helps you learn all of the nuts and bolts of self-government skills and principles. I recommend either one of those if you've got some family conflict going on in your family right now. Those 2 things, either one of them, will help you get on the track to self-government and improving your own ability to stay calm no matter what. Go to teachingselfgovernment.com today. I'll see you there.